This is our science lesson for the day, and we're going to do the elaborate portion of changes to ecosystems. Today's objective is TEK 3.9c. Describe environmental changes such as floods and droughts where some organisms thrive and others perish or move to new locations. The student's success criteria for today is I can give examples of organisms that thrive during environmental changes. I can give examples of organisms that perish during environmental changes. And the third is I can give examples of organisms that move or migrate during environmental changes. Thrive. The word thrive means to grow or develop well or vigorously, also means to prosper or flourish. Okay, this is an example of thrive. Okay, this is a Cape fox. It has a stable population all over South Africa, but it is rare to spot them as they tend to be very shy, especially in urban areas. And this is a picture that was taken near an urban area just recently. And they're attributing the reason to them thriving and be able to see these fox is because people are staying in more because of the coronavirus right now. So right now these foxes are thriving in urban areas. Okay, perish. Perish means to suffer death in a sudden or untimely way, suffer complete ruin or destruction. Okay, this is an example of perish and a dried up lake bed. A lot of things perish when lake beds dry up and the water goes away. The frogs will die, the fish will die, and I just brought this up because there's a lake right next to my house. The Corps of Engineers built this lake back in the 70s for flood control, and it doesn't hold water real well, so it dries up every summer, and all the fish and the frogs and stuff like that die around there. And just thought that was a good example. Move or migrate. Migrate is to move from one region or habitat to another according to the seasons, or if you're the loss of habitat would be another reason for migration. Migration example, and I picked the monarchs. The monarch's annual life cycle is really marvelous and multifaceted journey. It can be thought of as a multi-generational relay race, and the reason they say that is you can see the little map I put in the slide right there, and it shows the migrations of the monarch butterfly, where they end up in the wintertime. They migrate down there to one specific place in Mexico. And from the time they leave there in the springtime and before they come back the next winter, they go through 4 generations. So the monarchs that leave Mexico are not the same monarchs that come back. It's actually 4 generations after that group there. And just thought that was really interesting. There's a festival that takes place because they're going to start migrating back here shortly towards the end of this month and all into October. They're going to start migrating back down to Mexico, and they're going to be coming through Texas here. And there's a group of people in Fredericksburg that's like a butterfly festival that Wild Seed Farms, and they mark the monarchs and release them so they can help track their movement. And we're going to try to take place of that, or go down there and see that and help out with that in October. And also we're going to watch a video after this. It's about elephants in Africa and how they come together in one place, and it talks about the different organisms thrive there in this ecosystem, and how some perish and how some move. So.
We're here to witness a spectacular event. It happens only in this park. Every year for 2 months, there's a gathering of hundreds of elephants. What causes these huge animals to come together like this? To find the answer, we need to see how the elephant survives. Elephants spend a lot of time here in the forest. They play a major role in this forest ecosystem. They modify the environment by making paths like these, so it's easier to walk through these thorny bushes. Trees provide cool shade for elephants so they don't overheat in the tropical sun. But they're not the only animals who enjoy a bit of shade. Trees also provide a nice way to scratch those hard-to-reach itches. Ah, that feels good. Elephants eat a lot to survive. They spend most of their time eating, as much as 3 times what I weigh every day. This, however, is drought conditions. The grass is dry and not very nutritious. That doesn't stop the elephants from eating it. During the drought, it doesn't rain for about 8 months. Just a few months ago, this large grassland was a lake. You can see the dark line where the water used to be. But as the water dried up, nice green grass grew on the rich soil of the lake bottom. So the elephants leave the forest during the day to eat the grass. Grasslands are another ecosystem that elephants thrive in. There's no shade for the elephants in the grassland, so they get hot. And thirsty. Water is essential for all life. Elephants drink about 150 liters, the same as 100 of these every day. So this is why the elephants come from all around to this small area. While everything else is dried up, the elephants can find green grass to eat, and most especially water, as this is the only water hole around. The water provides an environment for the elephants to cool off, get a drink, and play around a little. This is Singiti. She's a tame elephant. You like that, don't you? You want more? Okay, give me a second. He loves eating pineapple. The elephant is just one of many animals in this vast ecosystem. It's not only the biggest, it's crucial to maintain the ecosystem for other smaller animals so they can thrive in these drought conditions. These are a few of the animals that thrive in the drought conditions of this grassland. As elephants move through the grass, they stir up the insects, rodents, and lizards, all good bird food. Rather than searching, the birds just wait around until the elephant scares out the food. Of course, the bird better not get too close. Elephants do have bad tempers. Ouch. If they're birds and small critters, you might also find the animals that hunt them, like the jackal. Some animals perish in this harsh environment. Yes, the elephant sure has a big impact in this ecosystem. The elephant changes the environment just by walking around and making tracks, because sometimes the tracks fill with water and provide a place for small animals and insects to live. And that's not the only type of environment the elephant creates. Even what comes out is useful for other creatures here. Elephant dung holds a lot of water, but only drink in a case of emergency. The dung provides food and water for insects. Elephant dung also plays another very important role in the ecosystem. Elephants swallow their food, seeds and all. Some seeds come out whole, the same as they were eaten, and these seeds are left on the ground to grow into plants. It's getting late. It's evening here. Elephants are starting to leave. The herds are going back into the protection of the forest for the night. And I think they want me to leave too. We'll come back another day. The monsoon season has arrived and everywhere is beginning to flood. The environment is always changing, creating challenges and opportunities for everything that lives here. As the lands get soaked, water appears everywhere. New plants spring up and animals thrive. Some life dies, like these trees, and animals perish in the floodwaters. The community living in this environment is changed from the drought season. The elephant population that numbered in the hundreds during the drought is now spread out and only found in small groups of 5 to 10. As the environment changes, especially big changes like drought and flooding, the ecosystem and its community readjusts. Nature is flexible and life goes on. But what if next year the rain doesn't come? What then will happen to this ecosystem?
Hi, my name is Mark Bernstein. I'm a National Director.
Okay, it's time to complete your independent practice, and we have it's a passage from the STEM Scope curriculum, and it's talking about a group of third grade children that tracked the hooping cranes and crabs, and they made a little graph of how many they counted at the wildlife refuge there in Rockport, and we're going to use this information to answer some questions. So there'll be a PDF of the sheets right after this, and you can also answer the questions from the sheet. I just gave you the sheet, so you have like a picture of the table there, so you can look at that, and then you can answer the questions from the blue puzzle piece after the PDF slide there. So go ahead and get started on that. And if you have any questions about anything, be sure to email your teacher or send a message to them in Schoology.